good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Jennifer. I am somebody who has come a really, really long way when it comes to this whole world of spirituality and manifestation. And I really feel my soul's calling here is to help uplift and empower you as I continue to strengthen that in me, that we are conscious creators, that we are children of God, that we can have and do and be the highest version of ourselves. And self-concept is everything. That, people talk about self-concept, and it really means like your worth, your innate worth as a child of God. And this is not for people who don't believe in God. Honestly, if you don't believe in God and you don't believe that you are a child of God and that you were meant to be put on this earth to co-create, this video is not for you. You could just keep moving on. But for those of us who know that there's a calling in us, each and every one of us was gifted with our ability to share our experiences here on earth with others, to uplift and empower others to embody that for themselves, to know that they are too children of God, because we all are. This is who this message is for. And my unique gift, I really believe, is to, based on my experience on this earth for all these years, is to help you to know your worth. And knowing your worth is the literal definition in my book of what self-concept is. When you know you are worthy, when you know you're a child of God, when you know that you can create love and beauty, and I'm not saying that this life is going to always be magical, because it's not. There are going to be ups and downs. This is a world of duality. And there are laws here of duality. There is hot, there is cold, there is good, there is bad, there is birth, there is death. There is gravity. These are earthly things that we cannot escape. But when you know who you are, and you know that you can co-create with God, with Source, with Jesus, man, it takes on a whole new meaning. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new ball game where those laws do apply. But it's almost like you can bend them. You can bend time, and you can play with the magic of certain laws. Obviously within context, right? If you decide to jump off a bridge, you're gonna fall. So let's not get carried away. Let's not take this to the literal. But honestly, what I have learned, and guys, you want to improve your self-concept, you want to be that worthy queen, that worthy king that inside you are, then one of the keys is listening to your intuition. And I used to get so tripped up by this. I always knew, okay, like, damn it, why didn't I listen to my intuition? Or why didn't I follow through when I knew that's what I needed to do, right? And it becomes so much harder. Life just becomes so much harder, and we wind up back to that point, the initial point when we could have made the choice to listen to our intuition, because it's not linear anyway. Life is not linear. But I really do believe that when we listen to our intuition, we go from point A to point B so much quicker. And it still may be zigzaggy, right? It's never going to be this perfect path, but it will be so much easier when we tap in and actually listen to our intuition and what it's telling us to do that doesn't make sense to the logical survival brain. It's never gonna fucking make sense. oh, don't take that way to work, go this way. And then you found out there was an accident on the other road, or you came across this beautiful new bakery that you always wanted to try, sourdough bread. And you were like, oh my God, this is always, wow, I found this, Your intuition is always, that God within you, that higher self that's aligned to source, is always going to take the path of least resistance. It's always guiding us to that path of least resistance. But the logical mind comes in and creates the path of most resistance. That doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? It's quicker to go this way. Why would I go that way? And it really trips us up. Now, trigger alert. I hate that word, but it honestly, trigger alert. I was somebody who was raised in a very toxic environment. I had a very sexually abusive father, and then wound up having other men come into my life that recreated this story because I was so afraid of it happening again. Lo and behold, unfortunately, I didn't know at that time the power of the mind and the power of what we focus on, we get, whether we are fearing it, especially when we're fearing it, but, or when we're focusing on it as something that we desire, we wind up getting it. It may not be in the exact form, but we do always wind up manifesting our desires. And, again, it's not linear. So sometimes it happens like that. And sometimes it takes a little longer for certain things, depending on circumstances, because the universe has to align the people, places, time, and events for that to all to come into play. However, I, as a result, always questioned my own ability to listen to my intuition, because I wasn't able to act on my intuition when I was a child. I knew that what was being done wasn't right. It didn't feel right in the body. And so I would disassociate, which I'm sure, and I don't know if many of you did, I don't know if anybody can relate, but like when you have trauma, physical trauma, we can't deal with it at the time. So like our soul, disassociates. And I know whoever can relate to this, drop me a heart. I love you. I see you. I feel you. We literally disassociate. We get out of the body and we don't connect because we don't want to feel what's going on. And that, a lot of it has to relate to also to shame, because we feel like, oh my God, this is not supposed to happen. And, and why does it feel good at the same time, right? And it creates a lot of shame, and it creates this false sense of not being able to listen to our intuition because someone overrode that intuition for us and said, no, do this. And being a young, impressionable child, we listen to those adults, even if we don't want to, we freeze. And a lot of times I realized the patterns in my life were freezing, like literally, the reactions that we have, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, that was me, fawn or freeze. And I literally took that into my adulthood. And granted, there were plenty of times I listened to my intuition and it served me well. I'm not saying that it totally debunked it, but for the big decisions, I didn't listen to my intuition. And that directly correlates to your self-concept and to building your self-worth. So like, it's easier, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier for those people, right, who have had normal problems in life, like, your little bullying here in school or this or that, and I'm not minimizing that either, so don't get me wrong. But when you have like severe abuse, childhood abuse, it takes on a whole nother meaning of, trying to build your self-esteem and your self-worth. I went to therapy for so many years. I did all the things, and honestly, none of it worked to the degree of what this is doing for me. Self-concept of knowing that I am worthy. As a child of God, I deserve all of the things and then some. So do you. We all do. But when you've had a childhood that has been either physically, emotionally, sexually abusive, we tend to shut that part off and we disassociate with our body. So it's very hard to connect to that intuition, because intuition is a fleeting 1 second, do this, do that, you know? And then in the body, it feels right. Or if it's an alarming situation where we know we shouldn't do something, you feel it. You feel it in your heart or your chest, or your gut, like the 3 energetic centers. And I meant here, throat, heart, and stomach, solar plexus area. And so when we don't listen to it, it literally diminishes our ability to believe in ourselves. When we don't act on our intuition, it will make you doubt your confidence, and it will diminish your ability to feel confident. Now, it doesn't diminish who you are, but it diminishes the feeling of acting on God's given message that's coming directly into your being as a good feeling, as a gut feeling, you know, whether it's good or bad. Usually when it's not a good feeling, intuitively, you feel it in your body. And that's a key message to listen to. And so, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, depending, it doesn't really matter, but we learn how to tune in and hone in on that by not listening to it. So it's actually serving us either way. God is always in our favor. And you have to realize that God is always working in your favor, even if you feel like it's not, even if you feel like you're being self-sabotaging. It's all working out in your favor, because it's helping you to see where you are misaligned and to get back into alignment. So it's a good thing ultimately, but we do have choice. And when we can learn how to tap into our intuition and make it work for us. So again, you get that feeling in your chest, don't do it. Just don't do it. It doesn't matter what logic tells you. When it's something that you know, hey, you know, this thought that comes in, like, you know, get on YouTube and talk about this. Just get on YouTube and talk about it. Or make that left. Like, don't let your rational mind start to come in and talk you out of the things that your intuition is telling you, because that is how you build your self-concept while you are being that. You've already made the decision to be the best person you want to be, but using your intuition is the key to help build your self-worth. Following, you know how they say, like, you know, in a relationship, you know, oh, people are breadcrumbing you, you know, all of that, you know, negative. Well, the universe is sending little sprinkles, little fairy dust sprinkles of try this, do this, you know, don't do that. And we have to learn how to listen to it. And that is the message. That is what I'm here to tell you. If you can make that decision to be who you are, but staying in it is the challenge. And this is how you help yourself to stay in it, by following your intuitive guide. That's it for now. I'm working on a massive, beautiful program that is going to help you jump into this, dive into this, stay with it, anchor into it. So I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and God bless you. And until next time.